Good morning, Year 2. Welcome back to another maths lesson. I hope you enjoyed the start to learning about statistics yesterday. Today is Tuesday the 9th of February 2021. Today our counting practice is going to be remembering, can you count in threes? Get your fingers ready. Let's see if we can count in threes all the way to 36. Ready? Let's go. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. Well remembered. Let's see if you can do it without me saying anything. Are you ready? 3, 36. Well done. Let's see if we can work out 3 lots of 3. 6, 9. Well done. Can you work out 5 lots of 3? 15. Well done. One more. Let's try 7 lots of 3. 21. Well done. Today we are learning about something called my turn pictograms. Pictograms. Pictograms are another type of chart, and we turn our tally charts into pictograms. So we take a tally and we turn it into a small picture so we can really clearly see what it was that we were counting. The reason that it's called up here a 1-to-1 pictogram is because every tally, so one tally, we turn into one picture. So when you're recording, use a tally because it's quick, but afterwards we turn it into a picture so that it looks really nice and we can clearly see what it was we were counting. Here are some examples. So over here we have this person was seeing how many dogs did they see during the week. So they put the days of the week here, and then they've turned their tallies into little pictures of dogs. So you can clearly see on Monday they saw 2 dogs, on Tuesday they saw 1 dog, and so on. Over here, a group of friends wanted to keep track of how many goals they scored. So they did their tally chart and then they turned it into a pictogram. And every tally they turned into a little football. So you can clearly see if I chose Whitney, I can see she scored 1, 2, 3, 4 goals. And the last example down here is 2 friends were playing a game. They played the game twice and they wanted to see how many points they scored. So they did their tally and then each point they turned into a smiley face, and they've even written a handy key here to say, if you see a smiley face, that means we scored 1 point. So I can see in the second game that Ron scored 2 points. So it's a much more fun way of recording things that we've found out. Let's make a 1-to-1 pictogram. We're going to turn my chocolate tally chart into a pictogram.
So I have my tally chart from yesterday. I'm going to try and turn it into a pictogram. So I need the same number of columns, but I've made my middle column wider because this is going to have my pictures in it. So my first column, the heading is still chocolate. This is still where I'm going to write what type of chocolate I have. My middle column is not called a tally anymore. This is where we're putting our pictures, and it's where you write what it is you're counting. So I'm counting the number of chocolates. If I didn't write this, it might not be clear. People might think I'm writing about how many chocolates I've eaten, how many I want to buy. So I'm going to write amount oh, that's a funny I, isn't it? The amount I have. So chocolate, amount I have, and this column stays the same. This is still where I'm going to put my total. So the first thing I'm going to do now that I've got my headings is fill in my types of chocolate. That hasn't changed, so that bit is staying the same. Mars, Reese's, and Twix. Now, something you can do before you start drawing so that you can really clearly see your pictogram is to use small objects to represent your drawings. So in my first tally column, I had 3 Mars, so I'm going to use 3 cubes to represent my Mars to start with. So I can now see that instead of having a tally of 3, I have 3 cubes. Reese's, what does this mean again? 5, well done. So I'm going to use 5 cubes and put them in. I'm using a different colour. It doesn't really matter if you use the same colour or different, just whichever you see is the easiest way. And then Twix, I need 2. So there I have built a pictogram. But we are going to turn that into pictures. So I've built my pictogram. Now I know how many I need to draw. So I'm going to take a cube away and draw the picture. I'll pause now to draw it and then show you when I'm finished. Okay, so I took my cubes away one by one and replaced them with a drawing of a sweet. Now it's important that your drawing stays the same throughout. So you can draw anything you want. You could draw smiley faces, sad faces, you could draw dots, crosses. I've chosen to draw a sweet because we're talking about chocolate, and I've kept with that same sweet all the way through. So now I have changed from a tally to a picture. Now I can fill in my total. So if I look at Mars, the amount I have is 1, 2, 3. So in total I will write 3. Reese's, the amount I have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Twix, the amount I have is 1, 2. So I have turned my tally chart, I built a pictogram and then turned that into a pictogram.
So that's how you make a pictogram. Let's answer some questions about my pictogram. So have a look at it on the screen here. How many Twix are there? If you look at the pictures and shout out to me, how many Twix are there? That's right, if we go to the Twix row, we can see there are 1, 2 Twixes because it's really clearly drawn. Question 2 wants to know, what is the difference between the number of Reese's and Mars? So here are my Reese's and here are my Mars. What is the difference between the two? Pause and have a think about that. So I can see that Mars and Reese are the same to start with, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but Reese's has 1, 2 more. So that is the difference. That's what's different about them. And that's really clear to see on a pictogram because I can circle the 2 that are different. So I had 5, and if I take away that 3, I get 2. So the difference is 5 take away 3 equals 2. Today we are going to turn yesterday's tally chart of looking out of our window into a pictogram. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and then you're going to have a go by yourselves, and then there's a quiz on Classrooms as well.
Let's now look at turning our tally chart from yesterday into a pictogram. So I've drawn out my table. I've got the same amount of columns and rows, but I've made my middle one nice and wide to fit all my pictures in. So I now need some suitable headings. So this column here isn't going to change. It's still going to have these 4 things in. Obviously your last one is different. Things out of my window. So these in here I will still write things out of my window. And my middle column, that's where my drawing is going to be. So it's not going to say tally anymore. I need to say what it is that I was doing. So with these things, was I seeing how many waved at me? Was I seeing how many made me laugh? Was I seeing how many I saw? That's it. I was seeing how many I saw. So that's going to be my title. So how many I saw. And then this is still my total over here. So I can now fill in this column as well because it's going to stay the same. We're going to have birds, cars, people, and then whatever you chose. So I chose dogs. So the first thing you could do to help you is to build it with cubes so you can really see how many you're drawing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump straight into the drawing, but it's fine if you want to use cubes. I need to decide on something to draw. I can't draw birds in here and cars in here and people in here and dogs in here. It has to be the same picture all the way through because we're talking about how many we saw. So I need to think of a picture. I think I'm going to use a cross to represent, like this. So I'm going to do a cross for each one I saw. So how many crosses do I need to do for the first one? How many birds did I see? That's right, I saw 15. So I will draw 15 crosses in here. There's my 15 birds. Now I need to do cars. How many cars did I see yesterday? That's right, I saw 6. So I'm going to draw 6 into the cars column. So I find cars, I'm going to go across to how many I saw, and that's where I do 6. Okay, people, how many people did I see? That's right, I saw 11. And then how many dogs did I see? I saw 3. So I'm going to go ahead and finish filling that in. So now my tallies have been turned into pictures. Like I said, you could draw absolutely anything. I just chose crosses as I thought that would be nice and clear for me to see. Now I can fill in my total. So I had 15 birds, 6 cars, 11 people and 3 dogs. So I've turned my tally chart into a pictogram. It's your turn to do that now, so you need your tally chart from yesterday, and you can follow my instructions to work out how many rows and columns, but you can choose any picture you would like to put in the middle. Maybe you'll find it easier than tally charts, or maybe you'll think you prefer doing a tally chart. Give it a go, send us your pictogram, and then there's also a quiz to do on Google Classrooms where I've made some pictograms and I have some questions for you about them.